Sometimes the absolute hardest part of learning watercolor is the getting started bit, because that first step of taking paint and putting it onto the paper can be really daunting. This exercise is perfect for getting started because our entire goal here is to literally just scribble some paint on some paper, and it does not need to look perfect. Grab your watercolors and give them a good spritz. And then I want you to grab a full sheet of watercolor paper, and we're just gonna start by putting some water in one of these wells, and then we're gonna mix up a blue or a purpley color, whatever color you like. And once you have a decent amount mixed up, I just want you to scribble scrabble right on the paper. This does not need to be perfect, the wash does not need to be consistent, and the colors don't need to be consistent. The main goal here is to just apply it in kind of a rectangular shape. And I want you to do that same thing, modifying that purple color a little bit, either lightening it or darkening it, so that we have 3 scribbled rectangular areas with 3 different values of that purple. And then we're gonna do more or less the same thing with some green areas. So in one of them, I want it to be very desaturated, meaning there's lots of water, very little paint, and we're gonna scribble around with different greens or yellowy colors. And then in a separate area, we're gonna do the same thing, but with more concentrated green colors. And then once your page is filled with those different scribbles, we need to let it dry or make it dry. And next comes the fun magic part, where we're gonna take these scribbles and we're gonna turn it into something really cute. And in order to do that, you're gonna need some scissors, maybe some colored pencils, and some glue. And I'm gonna be gluing mine directly in my sketchbook, so I'm gonna have it here handy to make sure that I cut out areas that are smaller but a similar size to the page that I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna be using the brightest green scribbled area as the foreground, or kind of like a rolling hill meadow. That desaturated green area is going to be my middle ground, or kind of the field that's in the background. And then my purples are gonna be my mountains. I'm gonna cut out different mountain shapes, different field shapes, and I'm just gonna have some fun playing with how all of these different shapes could actually fit together. And then I'm gonna glue them all together and cut them out so they fit nicely on my page. And then as a final touch, I had fun using colored pencils to add in a few different details into this landscape. Things like the sun, as well as some lines into that middle ground. Maybe these are actually wheat fields. Making your own collage papers is a great way to actually get started putting paint onto the paper without having to make all your brush strokes be absolutely perfect. Instead, you can turn the things that you scribbled into something really cute.